Okay, 12 years clean and sober today. My life is pretty awesome. It hasn't always been awesome. Actually, when I got here, it was the opposite of awesome. And so I'm gonna go through my quick 12-year journey and see if I can get through it as quickly as possible. Okay, so today professionally, I'm doing great. I own a treatment center. I'm saving a lot of lives. I have an amazing team. I've attracted amazing people around me. The friends, the people that I attract are amazing. I'm in an amazing relationship with an amazing woman. It's healthy. It's not perfect. It's healthy. And financially, I'm in a great place financially. When I got clean and sober, I was not good. I was not good. And I wouldn't say that I definitely was not a down in the gutter, homeless drunk that lost everything. When I first got here, March 8th, 2011, my then wife, now ex-wife, said after a weekend of shenanigans, our relationship was always on the rocks. And then we actually got married. Looking back, it's like, I knew we shouldn't have gotten married, but I didn't have the courage to have the hard conversation. That's one of the things I learned in recovery is how to have hard conversations. So when I first got here, wife Jennifer leaves me after a weekend of shenanigans. She said, I'm leaving you. The only way I will consider taking you back is if you never drink again, go to rehab and stop playing golf. And I went to my very first AA meeting 2 days later. That night is the first time I say, my name's Tim, I'm an alcoholic. That was March 8th, 2011. So the next few years after getting clean and sober were rough. Separation, divorce, bankruptcy, my real estate license was revoked. I lost my business. It was during the real estate crash. So I lost 4 homes, or I short sold 4 homes. Huge falling out with my family at about 3 years sober. Huge falling out. And I remember my dad wouldn't talk to me I remember talking to my dad. My dad looked at me and said, "Are you still sober?" And I'm like, what the? And at the time I was going to a lot of meetings. I was sponsoring guys. I was on the board of directors of Crossroads, which is a treatment center, a nonprofit treatment center. And I was like, what? So I've learned not to take things personally, as one of the 4 agreements, not taking things personally. And it doesn't matter what other people think of me. That's one of the things I learned in AA. Okay, so separation, divorce, bankruptcy, real estate license is revoked. I lose my business. So that's like the next 5. And I remember going to AA meetings and just crying my face off. And all of those things that happened, there's no way I could have done it on my own. There's no way. There's no way. I remember going to meetings and sharing and being vulnerable. I learned how to be vulnerable in the program by being in recovery, by going to AA meetings. I learned intimacy, how to have intimate relationships. I used to think that intimacy was having sex, but true intimacy just means being vulnerable. So I learned how to be vulnerable with, men and women, and that's, true intimacy. And there's a good definition of intimacy. I think I heard it from Joe Polish. Intimacy is a shared safe space where we can be open and honest, and that's actually not the definition. I'm not remembering it correctly, but regardless, my phone's kind of blowing up. I got lots of people texting me, wishing me happy birthday. Man. And so I've got lots of people that care about me. Lots of people send me lots of love today. So sober 2011, I lose my business in 2013. I lost everything. And I remember just trying to figure out, what am I gonna do with my life? And so I ended up, I had my home, I owned a vacation rental company, and a couple of the homes that I owned, I owned with partners. And one of them I leased out to a couple of women, and they ended up being in recovery. I was like, oh, wow, what a coincidence. I'm in recovery too. And then I learned that they turned my home into a recovery home for women. I was like, whoa, hold on. So they turned it into a sober living home without asking me. So I don't agree with the way that they went about doing it. However, I've learned, again, being in the program, God's in control. I'm not in control. There are no coincidences. And I found out when I was supposed to find out. And I was like, okay. So I'm passionate about recovery. I'm passionate about being of service and helping other people. I've learned that being of service and helping other people is how I get to fulfillment. The reason why I lie, cheat, steal, the reason why I'm selfish and self-centered and it's all about Tim is because I want fulfillment. I want to be happy. I want to be happy, joyous, and free. But to be happy, joyous, and free, I got to give it away. I got to be of service. I got to help other people. And when I'm helping other people, Tim's not thinking about Tim. When Tim's thinking about other people besides himself, that's the pathway to being happy. That's the pathway to fulfillment. So I'm probably going to jump all over the place here. I got a little ADD going on, and that's okay. So 2014, I start Camelback Recovery. And I go back to school to get my master's in addiction counseling to help me be a better tool for Camelback Recovery. And actually, the home that I turned into a sober living home, what ended up being my sponsor for 7 years, Todd Belfer, he lived in that home. So it's great. It's great. The way that everything works out is just beautiful. It's amazing. God's in control. Tim's not in control. So start Camelback Recovery. We take our first client in 2014. 2016, I'm still have one home. I'm in school getting my master's. I'm working at a treatment center 20 hours a week to get my internship hours to, get for my master's. And I'm the house manager. I'm doing business development. I'm going to networking events. I'm doing all the admissions. I'm doing the P tests. I'm meal prepping because I'd meal prep breakfast bowls. I'd meal prep lunch bowls. And then I would make dinner. And so I was doing all of that and driving for Uber on the side to make enough money to pay my bills. Okay, so I was grinding it out. I barely had enough money. I was scraping by. Oh man, I can't even. Man, that was rough. But hey, it's like, that's my journey. I am so grateful that it was not easy and just handed to me and I had to work my ass off. I worked my ass off for a long time. And 2016, I met a guy named Joe Polish. June 2016, I go to this yoga studio and I meet Joe. And Joe, in that first conversation, I learned that Joe, he's in recovery. He had gone to the outpatient, he had gone to treatment 4 times at PCS, which is where I was doing my internship. So he's an addict, he's in recovery, he'd been to the treatment center that I went to 4 times. He's the owner of Genius Network, which is a high-level networking group for entrepreneurs. And he also owns Genius Recovery, which is a nonprofit foundation. It's an educational platform to help people to change the framework or change how the addicts are being viewed and treated, essentially. And in that very first conversation I have with Joe, he says, can you open up 2 more homes in the next 90 days? I'm like, you gotta be kidding. Oh man. There's no way, because I was barely making it. And I said yes. And at that moment, I put that out into the universe. I put that intention out into the universe. And sure enough, I was able, this is a long story. I'm not going to get into the story of how I was able to make it happen, but I opened up 2 more homes in the next 90 days. That was the Sojourn community, 2 homes next door to each other. And so I went from 1 home to 3 homes, and that was 2016. By the end of 2017, I had added 3 more homes. So I had 6 homes and a real business. 2018 started offering recovery coaching. 2022, we started offering treatment, clinical services. So now we're just the business is amazing. We're actually collecting enough money to really pay our employees some decent money. I'm making decent money, and we're all just helping people. So it's amazing. So going back to, I had a huge falling out with my family, and so it was bad. It was really bad, and it really affected me. My whole family cut me off. I'm not going to get into the details, but my whole family cut me off. And this is all of the I guess you can call them negative things or things that sound hard or that were hardships for me. They're all the result of my behavior and my decisions, my previous decisions, from being selfish and self-centered and just not really having any consideration for other people, not having courage, not having the courage to have hard conversations. So falling out with my family, my sisters don't talk to me, my dad my stepmom, they cut me out. Everybody cuts me off. I was completely alone. And that was going back to when my dad said, "Are you still sober?" I'm like, of course I'm still sober. My mom was the only one that didn't cut me off, actually. My mom, bless her, I love my mom. And I love my whole family. I love my dad, and I have great relationships with everybody today, but that period of time it was rough. My dad didn't talk to me for a year. My little sister didn't talk to me for 2 years. My stepmom didn't talk to me for 5 years. So they completely cut me off. And by them cutting me off, I wasn't allowed to come to my dad's house. I wasn't allowed to come to his house. I wasn't allowed to go to birthdays, holiday, Christmas, Thanksgiving, like none of the holidays. I was completely cut off. Again, it was my behaviors are what caused it. And my brother-in-law, it's been 9 years and he still won't talk. I'm still not allowed to go to my little sister's house, which, also again, going back, I've learned not to take things personally. It doesn't have anything to do with me. And quite honestly, I didn't even do anything to him. His issues, they're his issues. Got nothing to do with me. And I know, and I'm okay with that. And I'm just, love, compassion. When he gets to a place, if and when he gets to a place when he wants to, reconcile, talk, whatever, I'm good. And I don't owe him an apology. I don't owe him an amends. I don't know shit. I don't mean to sound, I don't know if that sounded wrong, but I don't know him anything. I'm good. Making amends, what that means is, making amends is about me and it's about my heart, mind, and soul. So if I wrong somebody, then I owe them an amends. But if I didn't do anything wrong to somebody and they have a problem with me for whatever reason, that's not really my issue. That's their issue. So my life today is amazing. And I wouldn't have the life I have today without my recovery. I wouldn't have the life I have today without AA. That's my foundation. That's my foundation. That's how I learned how to be other focused. I learned how to be responsible. I learned how to not be a victim. Other things that I've done throughout my journey through recovery. So I started doing yoga. My experience, yoga is aligned with the 12 steps. They align pretty well. So anytime I go to a yoga class, there's like 20 or 30% of the people in any yoga class are typically in recovery. I'm actually in yoga teacher training right now. I'm about to be certified. This is my 3rd time through because I'm super busy. And so I've ended up having to I'm over at Modern Yoga in Scottsdale, which is amazing. John Salisbury is amazing. They have an amazing team and an amazing program. And they've been super flexible with me. So it's my 3rd time through and I'm gonna finish this time and I'm gonna be certified, which is great. I've done Ironman a couple of times. I started doing triathlons. I've hiked a bunch. I've hiked the Grand Canyon. I've done rim to rim to rim 2 times. And actually I'm about to do it a 3rd time. And this 3rd time, we're looking for a little bit of a faster time. So we're gonna go straight through. The first 2 times I've taken a break up at the top of the North Rim and then I've gone back. But I'm gonna go straight through, which is awesome. And my girlfriend Sierra, she's gonna do it with me. She did it with me the previous 2 times. And so we're gonna do that and I'm training for that. I love to cycle. I went for a ride yesterday. Hour of Power is one of my favorite rides. That's Tuesday, Thursday morning at 5:30 a.m. I'm really a morning person. I love to get up early in the morning. I love to do my thing in the morning. Like my morning routine is probably one of the most important, if not the most important thing for me to get my day started off on the right foot. I do breath work, I pray, I meditate, I journal, I do a gratitude list, I share it with friends that are in recovery. Exercise and fitness, such a big part of my recovery. Eating, the food I eat is huge, huge. And so I'm eating a pretty clean. I'm not going to go into my diet, but I eat clean, and I eat the way I eat because I want to feel good. And sometimes people say, why don't you live a little and eat some cake? Guess what? I do eat cake every once in a while, and I eat cookies. But for the most part, I eat pretty clean because I want to feel good. Biohacking is kind of something that I've gotten into, biohacking. So that means like red light therapy. Red light therapy, I have an ice bath. I cold plunge probably on a daily, almost every single day. Do red light therapy. I have an infrared sauna, and I go to Optimize. Optimize is I go to the Arcadia location here in Phoenix. Optimize is one of my favorite communities. And it's all about wellness, recovery, health, not just fitness, and which I love because it's not just about going to the gym and lifting weights and lifting and getting big. I'm not about getting big. I just want to be fit. I want to feel good. I want to live a long time, and I want to be healthy. And F45, I love F45, high intensity interval training. That's kind of the place I go to. I hike, I run. So again, get my body moving. That's how I get to a flow state. Getting to a flow state it's like the best thing for me, to get into a flow state where I'm my mind is just I'm just going, and I get to that flow state. Exercise is typically how I get to a flow state, the best flow state. Let me see here. I made some notes here. I kind of journaled for a little bit this morning before I wanted to shoot this. And the reason why I'm sharing this is I just want people to know, hey, this is my journey. My life is amazing today. It didn't look amazing when I got in here. And I've had my challenges. And the main thing is that I didn't drink, I didn't use, I didn't look for the solution, the solution being drugs and alcohol. Not to say that, but my journey, man, it's been rocky at times, I gotta say. Let me see if there's anything else that I wanna share, because there have been other birthdays where I've gotten super emotional and I've cried, and I don't know, I'm just not really feeling emotional today. Maybe that'll change. We're having a meeting tonight, and I went to a meeting this morning. I met with a sponsee. So I'm still doing the deal. I'm still working with sponsees. I'm still going to meetings. I don't go to as many meetings as I used to. When I first got sober, my first couple of years, I went to 1 or 2 meetings a day. I'm not going to 1 or 2 meetings a day anymore. Not right now. I'm super busy. There have been times when I've gone back, whenever I have something going on in my life, something big, whether it's a breakup or something work related, or, I have a crazy landlord that I'm dealing with. Like right now, I've got this crazy landlord. It's so crazy. So we own most of our homes. We started out by leasing homes, and I realized once COVID hit that, because our sober living homes our price point was pretty high. And so the people that we attract are people typically that are traveling from different parts of the country. Not all of them, but a lot of them are people that are traveling from different parts of the country to come to Scottsdale to get sober, or come to Arizona to get sober, because Arizona, we have an amazing recovery community, lots of really good treatment in Arizona. But during COVID, people weren't traveling to get clean and sober. People were staying put. And the people that did have the money, even if they did travel, they were staying in an Airbnb or a hotel because supposedly that was safer to stay in a hotel, which really, all that did was led to isolation and relapse. So, I'm not sure why So I realized that I needed to own the real estate so we got hit really hard when COVID hit. But I realized that I needed to own the real estate. So we purchased 3 homes in 2021. One of them we had under contract in 2019 as a lease with an option to purchase. That was the best thing I did, because I got the 2019 value, and then I exercised the option in 2021. It was amazing. Such a great thing. And so we've got 4 sober living homes right now. One of them, we have a landlord. So it's leased. It's a 5-year lease. We're coming up on the end of the lease. Now, this homeowner she's crazy. She is crazy. And before, when I originally did the walkthrough, like I learned pretty quickly how crazy she was. Like, I was like, whoa, I'm not even gonna get into the details. There was another guy that owned us that was operating the home as a sober living home before we moved into it. And he's like, dude, that bitch is crazy. That's exactly what he said. And I was like, it's all good. And then she kind of showed her true colors. And I was like, you know what? It's a great house. It's in a great area. Even though we're just gonna, let's just deal with it. And I remember there were a couple things that she did, like our first couple years, and I was so angry. I was like, how can she do this? I was so fucking pissed. But then, obviously, that was not serving me to get mad. And I would stay up at night, my mind would work, and I would just think about ways that I'm gonna, hurt her, and I won't even tell you what I was thinking I wanted to do. But I realized about a couple of years into it, I realized, like, dude, this is all on me. Like, it's got nothing to do with me. This is who she is. I signed up for it. Like, this is what I signed up for. I knew who she was before we decided. So anytime she does something crazy, I'm like, oh, of course, this is what she's doing. What else would we expect? I mean, like, recently they had a major plumbing issue at the house, which is mechanical, which is the landlord's responsibility. And she says, we're out of the country, we can't pay for it, you guys take care of it. So we took care of it, and we're like, hey, you need to pay this bill. And they're like, we can't, we're out of the country. I guess credit cards don't work when you're out of the country, right? And we said, okay, we wanted to take care of the plumber. So we said, okay, she agreed in writing. Yes, I agree that I'm responsible for this. Yes, I will pay you when I get back. And that was and by the way, our water bill was like over $500 per month for a couple of months. We paid an initial inspection fee of like, $200 or something like that. And I mean, so we paid like more than we should have, and we paid the plan. And then she comes back and says, I'm not paying the bill. Like, blah, blah, blah. She gave some crazy reason. Said, I'm not paying the bill. We're like, okay. And again, it doesn't bother me. I'm like, whatever. Because of course I know she's not going to pay the bill. What else would we expect? So we paid the bill, and then I just sent her an email. Actually, I sent her an email this morning. Said, hey, here it is. You agreed according to the lease, lines 129 through 141. Like you can see here, you're responsible for this. According to the Arizona Landlord Tenant Act, you're responsible for this. I cited it. I gave her a link to it, and I sent her a copy of the invoice. We sent her a copy of the contractor's license, like all the information. So we'll see. I'm excited to see I'm not excited. I mean, whatever. I'm gonna deduct it from rent. She's gonna throw a fit. She actually tried to evict us. At one point, during 2020, 2021, she wanted to raise, 2021, I think. She wanted to raise rent. So she basically said, okay, so there's a tree that's growing in the front of the house, and the tree trunk is causing the walkway to like buckle up. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but buckle up. And what she says is that somebody dropped something heavy on and it's like, what are you talking about? That's not true. The house hasn't been painted in, I don't know how many years, 15 years, 20 years, forever. She said that we crashed into the house, and it's like, no, the house is peeling because of the sun. It needs to be painted. There are a couple other things. And she took us to court. She tried to evict us. And the judge said, what are you talking about? This is crazy. Like, these are not grounds for like eviction. And the judge, I think, was just trying to not, not trying to throw gas on the fire. So she just said, hey, these are not reasons for eviction, even though the judge was like, this is crazy. So lots of interest. And now she's claiming some, I don't know, she's got some other claim that we got to deal with. But we're there until August, and that's it. Oh, and when she tried to evict us, basically what she said is, I want more money. Because the real estate market had gone up, but it's like, dude, we've been here since 2018, 0 vacancy. She hasn't had to deal with anything. And granted, the market rent was a little bit higher, but who cares? She had 0 vacancy, and she agreed. So anyways, and let's see if there's anything else I want to talk about. So I learned, being a sober man in recovery, I learned like just how to handle situations. I mean, I'm throwing curveballs all the time, especially being a business owner. I'm throwing curveballs all the time, and that's just like, it's part of life. And it's not whether or not things are going to happen to me, it's how I respond. I'm also a member of Genius Network, which is an amazing group of entrepreneurs, high-level entrepreneurs. Many of the people, Joe Polish, he's in recovery, and recovery is a big topic of conversation. So it's a group full of givers and people that take responsibility and people that are creating value in the world. So creating value, making a contribution has been like so important to me, and I've learned again that that's huge. Also, during my life of creating wreckage, I owed my parents like $500,000. Whew. And my dad is paid back in full. My dad and my stepmom, they're paid back in full. My mom is almost paid back. I'm still making payments to her. Let's see here, what else? I think that's probably good. I mean, I can probably ramble for a while, but I'm gonna meet up with a good friend of mine, and he's a sponsee, and we're gonna go meet up with Alex Mandozian, and then Mike Major is gonna do ozone therapy and methylene blue, which is going to, just get my mitochondria lit up and put more oxygen in my blood and help me, I don't know, those are the things I do. Let's see. Oh yeah, I have a YouTube channel as well, so follow me on YouTube if you're not following me on YouTube. I've got, I don't know, over 100,000 views, 125,000 views or something like that as of this recording. See if there's anything else I should mention here. Suit up, show up, take suggestions, and I've learned, I think, one of the things I've learned too is that I need somebody else to tell me what to do, not just in recovery, like every part of my life. We're working with a couples coach. Me and my girlfriend are working with a couples coach right now, which is really helpful. I've had therapists. I've had a triathlon coach. I have a running coach right now. So I'm in the process of, I just did 2 half marathons, January, February, and I did a trail 10K Spartan. So I'm kind of, having a coach, having somebody else tell me what to do is a big part of not only my life, but that's what's helped me for recovery. Tim needs somebody else besides Tim to tell him what to do. I'm grateful. Thank you for listening to my ramble. Hopefully you get something that helps you on your journey. And of course, feel free to reach out to me if there's anything I can do to help you.
If you found this video to be of value, be sure to like it, subscribe to our channel if you want to see more videos, leave a comment if you have a question, if you've got something to say. Camelback Recovery provides treatment services for people struggling with mental health, mental illness, addiction, alcoholism. So if you or someone you know is struggling, be sure to reach out to us. You can go to our website, camelbackrecovery.com, or our information is in the comments section below. And we provide everything from detox, inpatient, outpatient treatment, sober living, recovery coaching, sober companion services. So either we'll be able to help you or we'll be able to refer you to people or treatment centers that might be a better fit. So I will see you in the next video.